Thank you. My name is Iglaneza Gior with reg number 2320-357. I'm doing health science in the Department of Biomedical Laboratory Science, Level 3A. The module is Applied Immunology. Here we have 4 topics we are going to discuss. The first one, what are immune complexes and what's their role in immune responses? The second, how does complement activation interact with immune complexes? The third, what mechanisms help clear immune complexes from the circulation? The last topic, how do immune complexes contribute to autoimmune disease? Coming to the first topic, firstly, we have to understand deeply what does it mean immune complexes, because this is going to help us to know better the following topics by knowing the meaning of this. Immune complexes are structures formed when antigens, foreign molecules such as pathogens or toxins, bind to antibodies. They are a part of the body's adaptive immune responses, helping in neutralization. By binding to antigen, antibody can neutralize pathogen or toxin because they form a coat that block those pathogens to invade the cell. Here also we have opsonization. Immune complexes, they mark a pathogen so that those phagocytic cells, they can recognize them and destruct them. Here we have complement activation. Complement activation, firstly we know that it is a series of proteins that work together to kill the pathogen. The immune complexes binding of antigen and antibody, they activate those proteins to enhance pathogen destruction and the inflammation. Also we have immune regulation. They help the immune system moderate responses, ensuring efficient pathogen clearance while minimizing tissue damage. Here we have a figure that explains immune complex and immune responses. We have primary response and secondary response. For the first time invasion of the pathogen, it is called primary response, and then for the second is where we have also the secondary response. For the primary, here we have those are antigens and this is antibody. Then this antigen come and bind to those receptors of the antibodies, which will immediately modify this and form clones, many clones of antibodies. And then those clones, they will be modified into plasma cells and memory cells. Those memory cells will be more useful for long lasting when there is a secondary invasion of the pathogen. And then those plasma cells are the one for this time to produce huge number of antibodies that will come to fight against those pathogens. Here on the secondary response, when these antigens come again to invade the body, the body is already having the memory cell of that pathogen. We immediately produce plasma cells which will produce antibodies to kill that pathogen. For the second topic, which asked how does complement activation interact with immune complexes? Firstly, the complement system is a series of proteins that enhance immune responses. Immune complexes activate the complement system primarily through the classical pathway. Here, classical pathway, there is a complement protein binding, where C1 key bind to the Fc region of antibodies in the immune complex, and there is cascade activation. This trigger cascade resulting in the formation of C3 converters, which split C3 into C3A and C3B. And here we have opsonization complement component like C3b quad immune complexes, enhancing their recognition and uptake by phagocytes. And there is inflammation. C3a and C35 recruit and activate inflammatory cells by generating an aflatoxin. There is also lysis. In some cases, the complement system form the membrane attack complex, leading to cell lysis. Here we have a figure that can give us an explanation. Here we have invading pathogen, and this is antigen in yellow color, and those are antibodies. And here we have a C1, a kind of protein bind to the, this is a complex. Already we know that a binding of antigen antibody gives us immune complex, and then this C1 protein come and bind to this immune complex, which will give us a C2 and a C4, and thus there is a formation of a fragment. One fragment from C2 will come and join to one fragment from C4, which will form C3 convertase. And these C3 convertase will come and split into two fragments, and one fragment can and bind to C5 and form what we call C5 convertase. And there is a split in two. One fragment come and endogenous protein to protect the host from lysis, and this fragment come and join with C6, C7, C8 and C9 to form a complex which will make a wall in the plasma membrane of the invading cell, and this will make the cell to swell and finally burst, where those pathogens will be released out of the cell. Those are pathogens which are released out of the cell. Coming on the third topic, what mechanism help to clear immune complexes from the circulation? Here we have phagocytosis. Firstly, we have to know phagocytic cells that are the macrophages and neutrophils that recognize the immune complexes quoted, because you have seen that immune complexes help to mark those pathogens so that they can be recognized by those cells. Then those phagocytic cells, they come and pick those marked pathogen and they engulf them. Finally, they eliminate out of the cell. Here we have also erythrocyte transport. Erythrocyte transport are red blood cell, and we know that red blood cell in humans, the main function, they helps in transport of gases, transport of nutrients, transport of hormones, transport of nutrients, and those red blood cells, they express complement receptors like CR1, which comes to bind to C3b, attack the immune complexes and carry them to the liver, where they are removed by macrophages. Also, we have enzymatic degradation. Enzymes, they help in destruction. Here, for example, protease break down immune complexes to minimize tissue damage. Also, we have lymphatic drainage. Immune complexes can be drained from tissues into lymphatic vessels, where they are processed and removed from the body. For the last topic, how do immune complexes contribute to autoimmune disease? Immune complexes can lead to autoimmune disease when they are persist in circulation. Here is when the chronic immune complexes formation is not well cleared in the body, and those immune complexes come to deposit in the tissue. Also, we have trigger inflammation. Previously, we have known that immune complexes enhance inflammation. To mean, if the immune complexes is not well cleared from the body, will promote high inflammation, which will finally cause tissue damage. And also we have cause molecular mimicry. Antibodies in immune complexes may target their own antigen, mistakenly identifying them as foreign substance. For example, systematic lupus erythematosus. Immune complexes containing autoantibodies deposit in the skin, joint, and even kidney, causing inflammation and tissue damage. And also rheumatoid arthritis. Immune complexes in the joint stimulate chronic inflammation. Because immune complex, we have known that stimulate inflammation. If it is not well controlled or cleared well, it will cause chronic inflammation, which will lead to joint degradation. And also we have post streptococcal glomerulonephritis. Streptococcal antigen form immune complexes which deposits in the kidney and cause inflammation. Those are some examples that can help to understand well how the immune complex contributed to autoimmune disease. Here we have a reference to understand more, to get more information. We can consult this reference. Thank you for your attention.